Welcome to the Delvin Cox Experience, the podcast which each week I am on a one-man mission to unite the culture through diversity. I'm your host, Delvin Cox, and this week I have a special guest, the man, the myth, the legend, my friend, somebody I'm proud to call my friend, Kevin Gootee. How you doing, brother?
And I'm proud to call you my friend as well. How you doing, pal? I almost rallied and got Israel on tonight as well, but he has a work call. He works. He's in crisis management, so he has calls all hours. I go, I should have asked him from jump. I go, hey, I'm doing Delvin's in 45 minutes. When he jump, he's like, I'm working. But tell Big Cox I said, hey. So
appreciate him.
He's with you too. Yeah, always a pleasure, my friend. Always happy to jump on with you. You know that.
Definitely. As always, we like to start the podcast off with the 5 for 5. 5 questions, 5 answers to get the ball rolling. Kevin,
are
you ready?
Bet your ass.
Question number 1. I think this is going to be a little hard one. Based off of action films, who are you taking? Harrison Ford or Tom Cruise?
I mean, we're talking obviously prime, right?
I would assume so, but Tom Cruise is still going like in his prime, so I don't know.
This is an easy answer for me. It's Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is the best action hero in the last 25 years, without question. Like you just said, motherfucker's mid-50s and still throwing himself off buildings and still, most importantly, making badass films while doing so. He bats 750 in my book, Cruise. He rarely disappoints. Yeah. Harrison Ford hasn't made a good film since The Fugitive.
Yeah, that might be accurate.
Air Force One. I wasn't crazy about Air Force One. I was bored. Israel loves it. I was bored by it. It was so pedestrian. I think the last great Harrison Ford film was The Fugitive. I might be missing one.
I like Episode 7 a lot, but the other ones ruined it for me.
I can't watch it anymore. Smell him. I wrote it down in the car opening night with my buddy, who I see every Star Wars film with. We've seen everyone together in person, except for 3. And I wrote down, put my sun visor, and I pulled it out there and I wrote down, Han Solo dies in this film. And I knew it. I knew it.
I figured he was going to die too.
Yeah.
I didn't figure like that, but I figured he was going to die.
I mean, when he's on the bridge, you're like, oh, come on, here it comes. And then, oh, the fucking son's going to let him live? No, get the fuck out.
Question number 2.
All right.
If you could reboot one movie, what would you reboot?
Just one?
Just one.
Right now, off the top of my head, Ready Player One. They did that film so fucking dirty. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
The book was so great. I read that book, I don't know, at least 5 times. Love the book. One of the best books I've read, one of the best fiction books. I'll throw that caveat in there for a long time. And boy, did they screw the fucking pooch on that.
I will tell you this. I watched the movie before I saw the book. I'm like, oh, this is not that bad. This is okay. And then I because of the movie, I got the audio version of the book. I think it's read by Will Wheaton. Like, oh, this is way better than the fucking movie by a lot.
It's not even close. It ain't the same fucking sport.
Yeah, I agree. Question number 3. If you could bring back one franchise that died, completely died, like much like they brought back Dexter, because Dexter's ending sucked and they brought it back and made it at least decent.
I gotta say, I watched the first season of Dexter, and actually the guy whose bachelor party I'm going to tomorrow, that's his favorite show of all time.
It's a great show.
No, I was bored. The first season I watched, I'm like, I wasn't bored. I go, I haven't picked it back up.
Oh, interesting. I think they say the 4th season is the best. I want to say that.
Do I have to get through 3 seasons to get?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's okay. I tell you what I tried. I'll answer your question in a second, of course. Here's what I've watched recently. I just finished Angie Tribeca, all 4 seasons. The first 3 seasons are gangbusters. The last season loses a little bit, but it's still fucking hilarious. It's Naked Gun. It is literally Naked Gun with what's her face? Rashida Wallace. Not Rashida Wallace, right? Whatever her name is.
Angie Tribeca.
Yeah. Not Rashida Wallace.
Isn't it?
What am I thinking?
Rashida Jones?
Rashida Jones. That's it. Yep.
Quincy Jones' daughter.
Yes, exactly. Right. And I just started watching Barry which is with Bill Hader, and I'm I don't know 5 episodes, 6 episodes in. It's pretty goddamn good. I'm digging it.
Okay, 2 shows to check out.
What franchise would I bring back? Now I got to look at my list of films here.
Yes.
Let me look and just scroll.
It could be something that you thought got a raw deal, or it could be something that you're like, they shouldn't have ended it right there.
How about the Batman? No, I'm just kidding. That whole series, just kidding. What got a raw deal? Hindsight is such a motherfucker. I'm scrolling through now. I have one answer, I think. All right, I'm going to give it. I'm going with my gut. I'm going to say the X-Men one, and here's why. Because of my podcast, which you've appeared on 3 times,
yes,
ever so brilliantly on. I don't know if you know Task,
yes,
a fellow black guy.
Yes.
I'm not a fellow. You're a fellow, not my fellow.
Yes, I'm aware of Task. Yes.
Yeah, Task, who hates the X-Men more than people hate Putin, whatever we're going to call him now. He made us rewatch X-Men 1 and 2. Now, well, you're right. Well, the first one is. I still think the second one's still kind of good, but the third one was trash when I saw it, and I still stand by that. I still dig X-Men First Class. I still dig Days of Future Past. But yes, you can take Dark Phoenix and fucking Apocalypse and turn that sumbitch sideways and stick it straight up your candy ass. So
I agree.
And it's funny. And the Wolverine films are shit except for Logan. Logan's fucking great.
I think the Wolverine is decent. If you watch I think it's called the unrated cut, it's way better.
Didn't see the unrated cut. Okay. I buy that. But so I'll say X-Men because, again, X-Men 1 is fucking bad. I loved it. Wow, did it not? He was right about that. X2, still good. I see the warts. 3 sucks. And the 2 of the new series are good, but the last 2 are shit. X-Men, do it over.
Okay, I like that. That's a good answer. And they're probably going to do it over anyway, based off of that Doctor Strange trailer.
Yeah, Israel's dying. That's his favorite character is Wolverine. So he's already on pins and needles.
Did you see what Patrick Stewart tweeted? I think he tweeted it out about that.
What did he say?
He was like, "How the hell did people recognize me from my ear?" Because if you see the trailer for the Super Bowl, there's a scene in Doctor Strange trailer where you see the back of Patrick Stewart's head, well, literally the left side of his head and his ear, and he said something to Doctor Strange. And everybody's like, "Oh, that's Patrick Stewart from the X-Men." And he's like, "How the fuck did they recognize me from just that?" Apparently,
there goes his NDA.
Exactly. Apparently, he has an iconic ear.
I mean, I tell you what, rebooting that whole X-Men thing, God, who the fuck would you have play him? Because he was so great. You can argue Wolverine. They said Scott Conn. I think that Israel's pick. He loves him. And there's a couple other guys out there. John Bernthal. But how the fuck can you? I mean, Professor X was with Patrick Stewart. Man, that was perfect casting.
I agree. Only person I think can do it, and it's funny to say this, James McAvoy. Just bring him back as Professor X.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only thing I think would actually make sense because he's still young, and you still kind of have him do it for a while, and he kind of has it. It was kind of he wasn't bad at it. The movies just sucked, but he wasn't bad at it.
I still stand by the first 2. The first 2 are great. The second 2, fucking terrible.
What is it? Dark Phoenix?
No.
It is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It is so bad.
It was like when Batman and Robin came out, and I have a thing where I have to see every Batman movie on opening day. And my buddy in 1997, like, well, we have to go see Batman and Robin today. And boy, is it going to suck. And we walked out and we said, I can't believe I'm saying this. It sucked even more than we thought it was going to suck.
It's really bad.
Oh, and people are like, oh, it's good and unironic. Watching it ironically, I don't want to watch it ironically or unironically ever again. The soundtrack is the best thing about that film.
I agree.
And I will say, Clooney is a good Batman. It's just the script is so dog shit, dick dog terrible.
Yes, it is.
But Clooney's a good Clooney was a solid Batman choice. And I'll tell you what, for a bonus, who I thought since day one should have been Batman, and I still think if they would have gotten him in his prime, he's too old now for it. Obviously, maybe. Well, yeah, too old for it now. Alec Baldwin would have been a monster Batman. He'd been a perfect Bruce Wayne. He probably would have been the best Bruce Wayne.
He'd have been a really good Bruce Wayne.
probably the best Bruce Wayne we've seen. The Batman himself, good, solid, at least serviceable. But I think Baldwin would have been a fantastic fucking Batman.
That's actually a really good choice. I like that choice.
I'm full of them, baby. You know that.
I like that one. All right. Question 4.
All right.
This is an important question.
Sure.
Very important. In a real fight, who would win? Steven Seagal or Van Damme?
We've done this since 1985.
We're doing it now because I need the definitive answer, and I know the answer. I know my answer. Who I think?
I know the answer too. The answer is Steven Seagal, and here's why.
Ain't no way.
Because Chuck Zito beat the shit out of Van Damme with one punch.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Thank you.
Steven Seagal doesn't look like he really fights. Have you seen that video of him training people how to fight?
Okay. Now, if we're talking, listen, if you give me, listen, anything passed out for justice, it's not a discussion. We know that the answer is Van Damme, but that was 1992. So you give me Seagal before 1992. You give me Steven Seagal in Above the Law, Marked for Death, Hard to Kill, Out for Justice, then he wins.
Okay, so
but after that, but when he gets to On Deadly Ground and a bullshit like that, and the Glimmer Man, God damn, that motherfucker moved like the Blob, the gelatinous mess, or the X-Men character, you choose. And he was terrible. But no, the answer is Seagal.
Did you hear the story about I think it was the Expendables 2?
Tell me.
That they originally wanted Seagal and Van Damme in the movie.
Well, that would have been the smartest thing you could possibly do.
But Seagal didn't do it because he hates Van Damme. Van Damme wanted to beat his ass. So he's like, no, don't want to be a part of this. It just kind of chickened out.
I knew that Seagal was a cunt about a lot of things, and this does not surprise me one way.
They have like a long-standing feud, apparently.
Is this like the Stallone Schwarzenegger, beef in quotes? I use that.
Yes.
Back in the 80s.
But this was supposed to be an actual beef.
Here's another reason why the real Frank Dukes almost beat the shit out of Van Damme because Van Damme was being a pussy when they were filming Bloodsport.
I 100% believe that.
Another reason.
Believe that.
Yeah, and Van Damme was a cunt when they were filming Predator, and he was actually in the Predator suit. And you know the story. Why am
I'm so glad that he fucked that up.
But listen, who gives a shit? He's in a fucking suit. No one knows it's him. You could have put Delta Burke or Betty White in that goddamn suit, and no one's none the wiser.
What is he, like 5'6" or something like that?
Is he? No.
Van Damme's like short. He's not tall.
Well, we have a computer right in front of me.
And the Predator, I remember the Predator, like, I think it was who they had replaced him, Kevin Eastman or somebody like that. It was somebody tall replaced him. I know that for a fact.
Van Damme is 5'10".
Oh, he's 5'10", okay. But the person replaced him was taller.
Okay.
In that movie. And it was more imposing. So they said he was a better fit in actuality.
And Seagal is 6'4". So now you're going to give me 6 more inches of reach with the wingspan.
Well, if it's today's Seagal, that dude's got to beat nobody.
They would have to fight this on Zangief's home territory because Seagal ain't leaving Russia.
All right, question number 5.
Shoot.
And this was a big debate on Twitter the other day that I intentionally started, but it doesn't matter.
You shit stir you.
Because me and my friend got an argument about it.
All right.
But I'm going to give you the question without the caveats.
All right.
What is a better movie? Friday or Home Alone?
Oh my, this is apples and oranges.
I know. But the question came up because there was this thing on Twitter for us 90s kids and whatnot, where they had like 4 like different things, and each one of them had like a PlayStation.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. I know. I like that guy. He has some good choices in there too.
And one of them had Friday, and the other half had Home Alone. So my thing was like, the black people are going to obviously pick Friday because that's like
you all stick together, don't you?
Because it's a monumental movie in pop culture for black people. Of
course it is. Yes, of course it is.
But my friend who's also black, Michael Aaron, piece of shit, like, oh no, we have to pick Home Alone. Home Alone's a family movie. I said, shut up. How dare you go against black culture? So we put it to a poll.
It's so it's so funny. Like, and I'm sure it's black culture. Like you just said, like we got to stick with that. White people, it's like I don't care. It's not like, hey, it's Jerry Seinfeld or bust or some bullshit like that. It's just like, oh, Chris Rock or Jerry Seinfeld. I'd Chris Rock 10 times out of 10. But black people are like, nope, we're sticking with the culture. You guys, that's funny. You crack me up
right.
Like that.
And the culture lost.
So funny.
It was
to answer your question. I own Home Alone. I don't own Friday. I'm not saying Friday isn't good. I'm saying I've seen it. I haven't seen it in so fucking long, but I think it's overrated. I have to watch it again. To be fair, I have to watch it again to be fair. But when I saw it, people are like, it's so fucking funny. And there are funny parts. John Witherspoon steals the fucking show, kids.
Yes, I agree.
He is the film. It ain't Ice Cube. It sure as hell ain't Mike Epps. It's John Witherspoon by a country mile. It just, I see Home Alone on more. I guess I catch it that way.
I think it's because it's a Christmas movie. So it plays every Christmas.
Of course it does. I'm not saying I don't dislike Friday. I just haven't seen it so long that I don't like enough that I owned it. If I watch it again, I go, all right, maybe I'll get it for like $5, but I'll pick Home Alone. I know I'm gonna get shit for it only because I've seen it more. I just haven't seen it Friday enough.
Kevin Israel picked Friday. So in this case, he's more black than you.
Hilarious. Look, I would choose it. Look, I don't have an overbearing preference for one. I have to go on something, right? I'm not gonna get
both are good movies.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. What was I going to tell you? By the way, speaking of finding stuff on sale and the cheap, did I tell you what's on? Just became made available on iTunes, and I texted 3 people. I should have texted you as my 4th. You ready for this?
Okay.
G.I. Joe the cartoon movie is on Amazon. Is now on Vudu and iTunes.
That is awesome. One of the greatest animated movies ever.
I have no problem with you saying that.
And they was supposed to originally released in the theaters.
I know.
But because of the backlash of the Transformers movie, because they killed off Optimus Prime, not only did they not release it in theaters, they changed the ending of it.
I know that. The infamous, he's in a coma. And she diagnosed him in 5 seconds or less. By the way, I'll show you how black I am. My 2 favorite G.I. Joes, Roadblock and Big Lob and Duke. It's number 3.
Goddamn right.
Because Big Lob makes his move.
I like that. That was great. I love that movie so much.
Roadblock's number 1. And I was so mad when they did the second G.I. Joe live action and they made The Rock Roadblock. I go, how do you not have him rhyme every fucking That's why you love him. That's what he did. That's all he did. And he was fun. He had the big ass machine gun. Those films sent shockwaves to the 80s and 90s, more 80s kids. Hearts are going, oh, fuck you, Steven Sommers, director of that film. The first one for sure. Ugh.
It's bad. Those movies are bad. They're really bad. And I love
Did you see Snake Eyes? Did you see Snake Eyes?
I have it. I have not watched it yet.
Saw it in the theater, and I fucking hated it.
You hated it.
Oh, I hated it.
Oh,
I wanted to like it, and they did such disservice with it. I have to look at my review, and I'll tell you why. I forgot. I tried to put it on my mind. Israel's like, I'm gonna go see it. I go, don't.
I didn't see it in theaters. I just literally bought it on sale. I think it was like $10 for the Blu-ray.
The reviews were so good. I was like, there's no way this is going to be good. There's no way. But the reviews came in. They go, it's fucking good. And God damn it, I fell for the people I hate the most. Critics. This is good. Well, if you were a millennial who never saw a G.I. Joe episode, it aired when it premiered, then maybe, but as a goddamn 45-year-old man who has these on DVD and watched them religiously after Transformers and Thundercats and fucking Ninja Turtles and Mask, this sucks because they did nothing. They did I wanted some fan appreciation and they gave us nothing. Oh, they gave us a 1. Well, the G.I. Joe movies, they gave us a 1 and knowing is half the battle. I could have done more than that.
I will say this. For any fans of 80s cartoons, Tubi is your best friend.
I had the DVDs of all that shit, but okay, that's good to know.
Tubi legit has everything on there.
I bet.
And it's free.
Even better.
It has Mask. It has Denver the Last Dinosaur. It has My Pet Monster. It has Conan, Robo, any 80s cartoon, 80s, 90s
Rambo cartoon.
It has Rambo on it.
We just did Rambo. We just did Rambo this week on the podcast, and I forgot we had the Rambo action figures. My brother and I, and the cartoon. I forgot about that too until someone brought that up. Our guest.
Cartoon was so weird.
By the way, they had a Rambo game for Commodore 64. I had it, and it was an egregious piece of shit.
I believe it.
If you believe that. If you believe.
I believe it. 100. They had it on. I want to say NES. Yeah, I had that one, and it was not good.
No. I have it on my hacked NES, those little mini NES. It's like I hacked it. It's on there. I haven't played it yet.
It's not good.
No.
So, Gootee, what's going on with you, man? You got a lot going on. You got another live show.
We're doing another live show. That is right. At the Karasotis Theater in Secaucus, New Jersey, which is 5 minutes from Giant Stadium, 10 minutes outside of Manhattan. Another live show with Bill and Joanne from the morning show on Compound Media. They have chosen the 1999 cult classic Office Space. So we're going to watch that fucker in the theater, and then we're going to do an episode right then and there in said theater.
How does it feel doing a live show now that the COVID restrictions have lifted up and everything is kind of back to normal? You're going to kind of be able to have a little fun with it now.
We had 25% capacity allowed when we did the first live show. When we did the Karate Kid last January, and it was weird because again, as stand-up comics, Israel and I, the one thing that threw me, because we're down, it was stadium seating, so we would have jokes, but people had all their masks on. So unless the joke fucking killed, I would go, "Am I bombing?" And I said to Israel, "Am I bombing?" I was like, "No." He's like, "You're doing good. You're doing good." And then my people who are in the audience go, "No. People are laughing. It's just the mask. Unless they were guffawing at something, just held back." So you're right. Now we'll be able to fucking rip it and have everything full capacity, and we're looking forward to it.
That's kind of awesome, man. How do you set up and even plan for something like this? Because podcasters, this is their dream. Like, hey, we want to do a live show. Even if they don't have a good podcast, they still want to do a live show to no one.
I got news for you. Podcasters still do regular podcasts when they don't have a good idea for a show.
Yes, very accurate.
I love people. What's the first advice about podcasting? I always write, don't suck. A lot of you do.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very solid point.
A lot of you do. Believe me. So what do we do? Well, we need a sound guy, and I'm happy to say I have a guy who does it on the fucking arm because he's a gem. He's a prince, and he comes in, sets up the speakers, sets up the mixer, sets up all that so we can record it as well for audio. We don't do video. So then there's the renting of the theater, then there's the promotion, then there's just getting people to come. And now it's funny at first, like, oh, we thought we have a problem getting people during COVID. Not really. It wasn't. I mean, we weren't completely to capacity what we were allowed, but we were, I don't know, 95% the tickets sold that we were allowed to sold. So pretty good turnout. So now it's just a matter of getting more people to come back and say, hey, we had a fun, watch the movie and then watch us do an episode right after that. So it's going to be fun. So yeah, it's more of a hassle. The logistics are easy. It's just getting the rental fee to an agreeable price and then getting at least enough money to make it up, at least break even and pay off Bill and Joanne to show up. And then whatever's left, Israel and I will just throw that toward a marketing budget. So it's just getting enough people in there and then getting the theater rental. And these sometimes now theater people are being tough about it because they're like, oh, we're back at, movies are back in. We're like, yeah, but now it's the shitty time of year. I mean, right now, as we tape this, Batman just came out last Friday. That's not, and our show's in 2 weeks. There's nothing out from January to late April. That's the graveyard. That's where they throw the shit. It's a rarity. Like they threw out Jackass this year. That did well. They threw out, Uncharted did all right. And then of course, Batman did gangbusters, but they're not putting out the big guns now. I mean, when they put Endgame the last, I think April 28th or whatever it was of that year.
Yeah.
They save that shit. They don't waste it on that. I think the last one I remember like doing well in this ring was Bad Boys for Life was the last film they released in the graveyard. They even took Morbius, which I thought was a great time to put it out in this time. They were supposed to come out now, and they kicked it to like April. That's a bad move. Morbius is bad. It's not gonna be good.
Yeah, I have trepidations about that one.
I'm not seeing it. I'll wait till Netflix. Israel sees everything. So I mean, he went, and I still haven't seen Eternals because he goes, I go, oh, I'm not. Yeah, there you go. So and Black Widow, he paid to see. Ugh, no. So yeah, he's my canary in the coal mines.
Yeah,
for superhero films.
He's a good barometer for that type of stuff. I'll give him credit on that. Let me say this. I don't say this often to you. I am super proud of you and everything you're doing on that podcast, man.
Oh, thank you, sir.
I remember the early days of Gutting the Sacred Cow. And when you were just DMing me, hey man, can I come on your podcast? Talk about my podcast? I'm like, what podcast? Gutting the Sacred Cow. And then we started talking about it. We started having a friendship over like podcasting and things like that and how to build our shows and things. And I've watched you grow from this little small podcast to having all these amazing guests on and doing your thing. And I'm super proud of you and super proud to be a part of that, by the way.
I listen, I can't thank you enough for your friendship, for your support, for your advice, for everything. And I those are nice words. And of course, I say all that and still fully admit that I'm the best judge ever on who would win. So I appreciate you're able to swallow your pride and admit that.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like you're from the Gutting the Sacred Cow thing, you getting on shows like Who Would Win. People are asking for you. You're a hot commodity, man. I'm super happy and super proud to see that.
Thank you so much, my friend. That means a lot coming from you. We actually have one of the guys from Who Would Win, not Ray or James. They call him the VP or whatever, the executive producer. He goes, what's that?
Brent Pope.
You know him. He specific. Ray goes, he wants to come on. I'm like, all right. I mean, we'll have him on. You know, I don't know them from at all, but if Ray asks, Ray and James been extremely good to us. Not a problem. So he's going to come on. He's going to do Speed in a couple of weeks.
Oh, Speed.
Wait, so you know what? Let me look at the list of films. Delvin, you thought, and I still say you big balls doing Jaws. Listen to the slate. Last night we did 16 Candles. Okay.
Interesting.
This was Rambo right now, as you hear this, Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Yes.
Next week, those guys didn't pick one yet. We're doing Back to the Future.
Whoa.
David, the producer, is doing Back to the Future.
That motherfucker.
That's what I said. Lock and load.
He just wants to kill every one of my childhood movies. Last time he did the Goonies. This time Back to the Future. He must be stopped.
Yeah, he's in full troll mode. That's right. We also are doing The Warriors, as I mentioned.
Motherfucker.
I don't pick them. You know that. The Professional, Mission Impossible, Batman 89, Speed, and you ready for this one?
Okay.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Ooh.
And one more. And Brat.
Whew.
The knives are out, my friend. I mean, Cop, Beverly Hills Cop, and I was like, wow.
One of my favorite movies.
But Back to the Future, well, spoiler alert, mine too. Yeah. So this cocksucker's got to cut off from Speed. Yeah, it's gonna be good. But yeah, no. So we get a lot of people emailing. Oh my God, all the good films have been taken. Not really.
No.
Go Google AFI top films. That's I always say that. I said, here's my advice. If you truly hate some films, and I'll fire out a bunch of them, most of them, including like Godfather, Casino, Goodfellas, Shawshank, LA Confidential, shit like that. Like if you truly hate those, we would do them in a heartbeat. But then I say, go think of your most annoying friend that you hate their tastes and ask them for their 5 favorite films. You'll find one in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I look at it like this. When I pick movies for it, I always look at movies that everybody else liked, but I didn't really like or I didn't get. Or movies that just don't hold up, like Fast and Furious to me doesn't hold up. It's not a good movie. And I used to love it when I was younger, and a lot of people loved that movie for what it was. Jaws was one of those movies I never got. Like when I watched it younger, I'm like, it's not for me. Watch it older.
Me.
I didn't get it either. And I think that's fine. I love that your show almost kind of provides this atmosphere for you to vent and talk about movies and stuff that you love or love to hate, and have those kind of debates that we have in like high school and college about movies. It's kind of
How about right. Fuck high school or college. How about right now? You can go to the bar with your friends. You go to the bar with your friends, and someone could say, I haven't found anybody who didn't like it, but the Batman, oh, it sucked. Really? You fucking hate the Batman?
Oh.
No one hated it, though.
Funny you should mention that.
You hated it?
No. Not me.
Oh.
On this, it will be out by the time this episode. Well, obviously,
the Home Alone guy. The Home Alone guy.
No, not him. By the time later this week, episode of the Devil and Cox Experience is coming out. Where it's kind of I have a guy on there from the Nerd Rage podcast, and he reviews, spoiler-free review, by the way, the Batman, and he hates it. He absolutely hates it.
That's
he's a DC fan.
Wow. That's bonkers. I tell you what I did laugh at, and I texted Israel almost screaming in my text. IGN, who's lost their fucking minds over the last 10 years, by the way.
Yes, they have.
Gave the Batman 10 out of 10. I go, you mean to tell me that this shit is as good as The Dark Knight? Let's just cut that bullshit right now.
I don't think it's as good as The Dark Knight.
No,
I like it.
Not. It's good. Listen, I gave Israel and I 85% of the fucking time. I swear to God, if you listen to our podcast, Gutting the Sacred Cow, and I invite you to do so on Spotify, Apple, of course, YouTube. Subscribe us on YouTube. We need the help on subscribing people for YouTube. So subscribe and download. Just turn off the notifications on YouTube. I don't give a shit. Just subscribe. Israel and I shit you not, Delvin, we are always, if we're not the same score, half a point away, maybe a point away, 85, 90% of the time. I saw it at 10:30 on Friday morning. And Israel was going to see it that night. I go, I know what he's going to say. I gave it an 8. And he does his review. What did he say? 8.5. And
that's what I put it at.
I tell you what took me down. Those last 15 to 20 minutes were so fucking unnecessary. You could have ended that in the cafe. I've been like, great, done. 9, maybe 9.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I didn't like the direction the Riddler took. I did not like. Listen, I get the dark part. Fine. Give me, I don't want fucking Jim Carrey Riddler either. Give me Arkham Asylum Riddler. Give me that Riddler. Give me a playful, deadly, sinister, but playful and fun. That's what I wanted.
I will tell you a funny story. I've told this before, but I'll tell you a funny story that happened when I went to the theaters to see it. Most of the time I was in the theaters watching this movie, dead silent, except for one scene. The scene,
the interrogation scene where it's like, oh, we saw this before already? Oh.
No, not that. It's funny. The scene where they first show Catwoman, when Selena walks up, you can hear an audible gasp from all the men and females in the theater for how attractive she was. I've never experienced that. Never experienced that in the theater in my life.
She's good. I mean, she was good. I'm not saying good. She's good. I liked her. I never have a problem with her. I tell you, I cracked up a bunch of people. I stayed for the end credits. And so for those who've seen, I don't give a shit. I'm going to ruin it. Don't go. don't sit through the end credits if you have not seen the Batman. It's a waste of time. Do not sit through. So I'm going to ruin it for you. The end credits it's the typing where he converses with the Riddler like via a chat room.
Yes.
And it's like, you're still here. And I go, oh, suck my dick. And everyone who stayed there laughed their balls off. I'm like, I stayed through the credits for this. Fuck you.
It's I don't know if you noticed. Well, I'll tell you now. If you can Google this as well. Something shows up at the end credits, and it's if you look through it and you catch it, it's a website.
Yeah, it's a QR code or whatever to go. I did. It's like Mamarada, whatever the translation was he used in the film.
Yes, and it's a trailer.
I saw
extended scene of the interrogation. I think if I'm correct.
Yeah, I liked it better when they did that in The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
that was. I'm like, we're doing this again. At least they didn't do the Martha Wayne and Dr. Wayne fucking death again. And go, please don't fucking do this again. We've seen this 5 times.
People are complaining that they didn't do it. I don't know why.
These people are dumb.
Yeah, I don't want to see these people die.
How many more iterations? We get it. We know.
They're dead.
Move on. and I liked how it was a true detective story. He was actually being the world's best detective, doing detective shit.
I liked it. I like that too. I like that a lot.
The only complaint I have, and then this is it, the score. Every other, even the shit ones, was it Elliot Goldsmith? I think I gotta look. Every one of the other Batman films, the scores are so instrumental, pun intended, to the film. They always stand out. Danny Elfman, Hans Zimmer, Elliot, whatever his face is, for the Joel Schumacher ones. This one did not, because other ones I've always watched. I go, I'm going to go down. I've downloaded the score for a lot of those films. Damn near all of them. But this one did not grab me. And I always thought the Batman score is so key to the film. It was good.
It did an interesting thing. It mixed like the theme of the Batman, because it has like a specific theme. And it would play that sometimes.
It did.
And then it would play the Nirvana song
at
other points. I'm like, this is interesting. I don't know how I feel about this. I still don't know how I feel about it.
Well, they did that with other films. I mean, Batman 89 had Prince. Batman Forever and Batman and Robin had a whole soundtrack, pretty good soundtracks, I might add. Probably the best thing about those two dog shit films.
Yes.
But Batman, the Nolan stuff, all score. I don't remember a song in any of them.
They have one, but it's not like,
I gotta think. Yeah.
This one kind of did a weird thing. Not weird. Interesting thing where it would, some scenes would play like the Batman score theme.
Right.
And some scenes would just play that Nirvana haunting song. Like, I kind of like the Nirvana version of it, like the Nirvana theme is. I'm like, but the score itself,
in the way,
the score itself was kind of hit or miss when they played it, so it didn't grab me as much as it should have.
Right. I did think the Riddler was that guy he saved from that gang in the very beginning.
Oh, do you know the story about that guy he seen?
No,
because people were confused. The guy that they showed that Batman didn't beat up, it's actually, he plays, if I'm correct, he plays Tim Drake in the Titans TV show.
Oh, really? There's no way I would have known that.
Yeah, so people were thinking that, he's going to be Tim Drake in the movie universe, which I don't think he's going to be. It's more or less he just happened to play a thug in this movie and then got the Titans role.
Right. Okay. No, I was talking about the white guy that they saved on the subway platform.
Oh,
I thought that was the Riddler. That was, he had the same nerdy look, glasses, all that shit. I go, that's the Riddler. Watch this.
The guy that the thugs were beating up.
Yep. I thought that was the Riddler, but it was not. So
that's a good point. I didn't think about that until you said it.
You know,
I've
been known to strike chords here in movie talk. So par for the course, pal.
I like it.
I sound like a dick. I know. I know.
So, what are your plans? Well, besides the live show, for the future of Gutting the Circuit Cow? Because I love everything you guys are doing so far, and all the movies that you guys are gutting soon. Sounds awesome.
And it's funny you say that, because people are like, "Oh, you're gonna run out of film soon." No, asshole. Movies are coming back. Someone's gonna come on and say, "I hate the Batman," or "I hate Spider-Man: No Way Home," or whatever. I hate to keep saying superhero films, but shit, what else is coming out? The Raid? I love The Raid.
Somebody's gonna say that, and I'm gonna go to their house and beat the shit out of them.
I love The Raid.
One and
so two, yeah. But you know what? I don't know if it would qualify, Delvin. I mean, we love it. It's good, but it's that same, like, what do you want? It's an hour and it's an hour and 40 of just ass beating. It's Judge Dredd without the dialogue.
Yes.
Going up and fucking fighting. It's a video game film in the sense that you're just going up to each boss level and then trying to get the last guy. It's just ass whipping. No, big picture. I want to do this nationwide. Like, I think, how did this get made? Although, and I love them when they started off, they have taken a big collective shit, and I've unsubscribed. I can't listen to them anymore. It's too woke shit for me. I can't do it. Talk about films. Don't talk about what's going on. People don't want to talk about that. People want to talk about films. We don't want to hear that bullshit. And June is insufferable. Paul is just a beta bitch now for her. Jason's the only guy worthwhile listening to. Before, the show was great. And now they're doing these like Hallmark movies that no one fucking knows or cares about. Like, stop it. You found shitty films to bag on. Great. That was your thing. I liked them so much, and they just fallen off. So, but I want to steal from their playbook. I want to do shows all across the country in theaters, either watching a movie and then doing an episode, or saying, hey, we're going to go, we're going to be in Miami in 2 weeks, and we're going to do
Scarface.
We already did that one. But Godfather, there you go. So then we would watch it ahead of time and then come on and we would do our shit live. That's like the goal, to get like mega sponsors. The goal is to get the fuck out of corporate America, Delvin. That is the goal.
Yes, that's always the goal.
Kevin Israel and I are trying. I just have to figure out how and where, and just to find who the right people are. Maybe get us onto a network where you don't have to do all the behind the scenes unsexy bullshit. Like, people think podcasting is easy. It isn't. If you're doing it right, it's not. And I've done two other podcasts before this, and they gloriously failed. Not that I was, because here's why, because I was doing other shit. I was doing way more comedy. I was doing stand-up, and I was doing my show on Amazon, Comics Watching Comics. And there's so much behind the scenes, promoting on social media, going on other people's podcasts, getting people. It's a constant. And here's the thing. It's a Sisyphean task, because no matter all the shit you do for 1 week's episode, guess what? Next week's a new episode. And I don't have people to help me. I'm a man of myself. Israel does some stuff, but I do all the editing. I do all the a lot of the posting. I do all that shit. All the trying to set up meetings. We actually, cross your fingers, and I think it's going to happen. We're going to be in like an Oculus kind of setting for the show. So you're going to watch us do the show. It's just the YouTube show, but you're going to see it in Oculus. So we'll see if it takes off. Whatever.
I own an Oculus, so that's cool.
Well, besides watching porn, you can watch us now. Because what else are you doing besides watching porn in Oculus?
That is true. That's correct.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the Lawnmower Man without the shitty graphics. No. So it's such a pain in the dick to do it. You know this. I know I'm not talking to you. I'm just talking to the audience. It's such an unsexy amount of work that has to be done every week. And you have to be engaging with the fans and all that shit. And again, if you follow us at GTSC Podcast on Twitter, you fucking better. We're always popping out new articles. Patreon page we just started last week. We're doing polls. We do all this shit. Keeping your fans caring is the key, and building on that fan base. That's the hardest fucking thing to do.
Yes, it is.
And it's such a, and then you go, of course, you get frustrated when you see all these other shitty podcasts. Like, oh wait, we're better than them. Wait, they're ahead of us. Nah, we're gonna blaze through this shit. But yeah, it's so that's it. That's what I'm up to. But again, live shows across the country, maybe getting on a network and really getting that kind of fuck you money, or just getting a ton of ads. And I mean, there are other movie podcasts we're friends with, but God damn it, no one's doing what we're doing. No one, not even close, not to the level that we're doing it either. I don't think there's no one who's doing, no one who's funny as we are doing this in the movie podcast realm. There's no one, and there's no one doing what our show is. So no one's in our way except just sifting through the shit and just trying to come out to the end and going, hey, everybody, we're better. And this is why you should add us to your weekly playlist, your weekly routine.
I 100% agree. And I couldn't have said it better myself.
You may be able to. I don't know. You're a smart fella. That's why we're friends.
Definitely. So, Gootee, final question. This is an interesting one.
All right.
Because everybody says this who are comedians.
Oh,
how hard is it to do comedy today as opposed to back in the day?
What's back in the day? Because back in the day, 5 years is much different than it was 10 years ago, which is much different than 20.
5 years? We can go 5 years.
5 years was the start of the you can't say or do or this. Maybe even 10. 5 for sure, but 5. I know 5 was when it was this is 2022, 2017. Yeah, it was. We were really getting hot and heavy with the you can't say this or you can't do this, or people getting upset. And no one cares about your feelings, folks. Fuck your feelings. No one cares. You really think what jokes someone says on a stage, they're directing it at you specifically? Unless you're being an asshole and chiming in and saying shit, we're not addressing you singularly. We're addressing you collectively. So to take offense over just jokes and ball busting, and we're the last stand. We are the last stand before there is censorship. And God damn it, if you don't like something, that's fine. I don't like Breakfast Club. I fucking hate that film. Am I going to watch it again? No. Do I ask that people burn their copies? They should if they're smart, but I will not insist upon it. Same thing goes for that.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I've always felt like comedians should be comedians and do and say what they want to, as long as it's funny.
Right. Yeah, listen. You can say all the crazy shit that maybe, I used to be way more whatever, but no, there's a fine line of knowing you better, if you're gonna go gamble and make a joke that you could get you in trouble, it better fucking kill.
Yes,
because then it's like, all right. Because you just can't go up. Look at Michael Richards. He just went there and yelled the N-word. What happened to him? He's still, and that Louis C.K. served his punishment. He's now out and about again. Michael Richards is done, kids, done. Yes. And just because he just yelled the N-word with no context, I was like, no, dude, that's not cool. That's not comedy. That's not comedy. So, but yeah, it's different now. It's different. I think the pendulum's starting to swing back, at least toward the middle. Give me the middle. That's all I want is the middle. Yeah. I don't want the extreme. I don't want the extreme of where we were a few years ago. People are like, oh, shut the fuck up. Stop being a pussy kind of thing. If it gets back in the middle, we're fine.
I've always appreciated about you both, you and Kevin Israel, that you guys are funny and entertaining.
Thank you.
And you push the line.
Oh, I do. Israel is the PG-13. I'm the line pusher.
But you don't go over the line.
Thank you.
You do it in a way that's like, okay, this is funny. I can't say it.
It's like I have like if I ever had to, I go, all right, who is on my bat phone of black friends I can call and go, listen, he's fun. Listen, we vouch for him. Okay. Yeah. He's with us. All right. So you're on that list. Don't worry. So
that's a good thing.
if I ever need to call, I'm like, I got my bat phone of black friends where I'm like, guys, listen, people got pissed. You need to go out there and
a phone with an afro, with giant afro and an afro picking.
Yeah. Guys, listen, I'm in trouble. By the way, Popeye's on me. Let's go. That's funny. I had to do that. Shame on me.
That was great.
Now we get hate mail.
They'll be fine. This has been great, brother.
It always is. Never disappoints, baby. Never disappoints.
Let them know where to find you at, and more importantly, let them know where to go to for the live show.
All right. Go to eventbrite.com. Event, EVENTBRITE.com, and search for Gutting the Sacred Cow. If you're in the New York City area, Manhattan, bang, we're a 10-minute ride outside, right there. Boom, right by Giant Stadium. Tickets are on sale, and for a discount code, I'm not going to tell you what the code is, but I'll give you a clue. It's the phrase we always use on the podcast, and it's all one, no spaces, just one big phrase, but no spaces. It's this phrase we always use for our discount code. GuttingTheSacredCow.com is where you find our merch shop: hats, bags, mugs, shirts, t-shirts, fucking cell phone holders. Can you believe that?
That's cool.
All that nonsense. Thank you. Go buy one. Show me how cool it really is. And that's where you find all the links to find us. I mean, we're on every single we're on podcast platforms in India. Okay. Ganva, look them up. Add your shit to them. Apple, Spotify, Google, Spreaker, Stitcher. And like I said, YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube. Turn off the notifications. I don't give a shit. Just we need subscribers so we can get monetized, for the love of Christ. And now patreon.com/Gutting the Sacred Cow. Now, what do you get? You can either be a kind soul and donate, which is cool. Just going to help us keep the lights on. But what we're also offering for just $5 a month, you get our blogs, but in video form. So we do our That Doesn't Happen, where Kevin Israel and I every week pick a moment that we see in a film and where they try and pull off something they're trying to pass off as ordinary, not something crazy like The Matrix. We of course know that is, just fake reality. That's just fake. Yeah. But they try and pass off shit that's, common, but doesn't happen in a movie. For example, I keep going back to Israel's because it's so perfect. You've seen it a million times in film. Someone gets in a car that's not theirs. They don't have the keys. They open the sun visor. Bloop, the spare keys drop in their fucking lap. That doesn't happen. No one goddamn does that. Thank you very much. We also talk movies we've seen. What else we talk about? Movie quotes, sequel news, movie news, I should say, movie news, and other shenanigans, trailer talk. We do all that. And that's just $5 a month. Gives you that access just to enjoy us do a little repartee, about 10-minute videos we do. So Patreon.com/Gutting the Sacred Cow. I'm KevinGootee.com, KEVIN GOOTEE, GTSC Podcast on Twitter, Gutting the Sacred Cow on all our social platforms. And you can find Delvin Cox on not 1, not 2, but 3 episodes. And fun fact, the guy's bachelor party I'm going to tomorrow, his favorite episode of my podcast is you doing Fast and the Furious. He fucking loves this, his favorite episode. Loves it. I'm going to tell him, I was on a show again last night and the guy did Jaws. What? He'll have a problem with that. But yeah, Delvin's always on. Delvin has an open invitation. He knows that. All he has to do is just set me up and he's in. Definitely. And I can't thank you enough for your unwavering support, my friend. It truly means a lot to Kevin and Israel and myself, and it's awesome. And I'm glad that we formed our cool little a group here of us and the Who Would Win folks and a few other people on the lines too.
Definitely.
It's a nice fraternity we've started.
Definitely. We all appreciate you, brother.
Likewise.
And as always, Delvin Cox Experience, we are out. Peace.